Hello everyone, Nathan Sivu here, and I have some good news. If you've been following along in my job hunt, in my laid off vlogging series, which for some reason day 7 didn't appear on BitTube. I don't know why, but it's not really relevant anymore since this news is coming out. So yeah, in the new year, I have a new job. It's in place. I've got a new job coming, and so that is a huge load off my mind, and I can actually enjoy my Christmas now. I don't have to have this looming over my head, thank God. Now the one question is where I'll be working, because long story short, and I'm trying to cover a bunch of topics here today because I actually have there's actually a lot I want to talk about, and they're kind of too short for their own video. So I'm going to try to pack it all in one video, and my goal is to keep this under 20 minutes. We'll see if we can do it. Also, I'll have timestamps in the description of the video for anybody that would want to skip through to the related topics. So, I had a job interview today, which by the time you see it may have been yesterday. It was Friday, so it was kind of my last hope of getting a job promised for the new year before Christmas started, and that's really what I wanted. Really wanted that to happen because I didn't want it to be looming over my head during my Christmas. That would have ruined it for me. So I had the interview, and basically the guy told me that he wanted to. He said it was a pretty big decision for him because it's a smaller company, so he wanted the weekend to think about it. As I was walking down the stairs from that interview, I got an email from another job that I had been an email from another company that I had been interviewed by, and they officially made me the job offer. So it will be one of these two places. I'm not sure which I want to go with, though. There's a few pros and cons to both. I mean, of course, the choice would be really easy if if the guy on Monday, gets back to me, which is Christmas Eve, by the way. If he gets back to me and says, yeah, this isn't the right time for our company, it's not the right time for us to expand, that makes the choice pretty easy. So the advantage with the one who needs to think about it, we'll just say job A for sake of simplicity, and job B. The advantage with the job A is that it's a lot closer to my home. It's minutes away from where I live. It's very, very easy for me to travel back and forth to. And also kind of another advantage is that where it is a smaller company, I will be seen as being more valuable, and there's less likely of a chance of me being laid off, and being put in this exact same situation again. So it does kind of have that aspect of it. The disadvantage, though, is that where it is a smaller company, probably a very little chance of a pay raise, which also salary hasn't been determined, so maybe he's not going to be able to match what my previous job could. And I think there's probably very little chance of me being able to get a raise and to advance in any capacity at that company, or to get any kind of benefits to go along with it. All of those things are big deals when you've got a family. I mean, even if you don't, it's still a big deal. And then with job B, the disadvantage is the commute will be shit. Because it's in a downtown area where there is zero parking, so I'm literally going to have to bus in. Even though I've got a car, I've got to bus in because the cost of parking will be outrageous. So that right there fucking sucks. Other slight disadvantage, the salary that they've offered me is a bit lower than the job that I had just left. So hopefully I'll be able to negotiate with them a little bit and see if I can kind of get it a bit closer. Now, and the disadvantage with them is that they're a much bigger company. They have, I'm not going to be, one of a few developers there. I'll be one of a team of developers. There's like, oh my gosh, they have like over 50 developers, over 50 developers just in the one building. In their other locations, I mean, they've got a total of like over 150 developers. It's nuts. So in a way, I feel like I'll be seen as less valuable, and I mean, I don't know, maybe I'd be secure there, but maybe there's, I don't know. I just get this jittery feeling like, what if I'm back in the same position again in a few months from now? What if I get laid off again? you certainly get those fears when you've gone through it once already. Um, so although they may not pay quite as well as my old job, there is a chance to move forward. There is a chance to get raises, and it does have good benefits. It has really good benefits, actually. So there is that might maybe even outweigh it. That might even outweigh the fact that the salary is a bit lower. Again, gonna see if I can negotiate that and get it a bit closer to what my old job was. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with there. So there's the disadvantage of the commute and just being worried about whether or not they're going to want to let me go or not. But has the advantage of the fact that I will be able to advance and get a raise and all that kind of stuff. And it's got benefits. That's stuff that job that job A doesn't have. So all things to consider. All things considered, how much is that commute going to drive me nuts? How would it be really that much easier to just be able to, drive a few minutes away to my job, or am I kind of screwing myself by not being able to get, benefits and raises and etc. So that's kind of the dilemma that I'm faced with right there. So yeah, really. So that's pretty much it on the job front of things. So it's there's still certainly some details to be worked out, and there's certainly I'm still definitely gonna have to work out things with my financial situation, but it's all gonna work out. There is a job on the other side. It's just a question of who. And I would really like to thank everybody on Twitter and Gab and Minds and BitChute and BitTube and D.Tube and YouTube, because there was really a great outpouring of support and advice that everybody was willing to dispense to me, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Some of it was from friends that I've met online, and some of it was from complete strangers, which was really quite heartwarming as well. So yeah, I really appreciate everybody for your well wishes and for your advice. It really means a lot to me, and I think for anybody who was praying for me, I think maybe it worked. I really appreciate that. So that's the job portion. Now moving on to the channel update portion of this video. So yeah, I'm gonna have to move things along because this video is already starting to get on. So basically, things are going to start getting more regular with my channel, well, my channels, because I post on multiple video platforms. Things are going to start becoming more regular again. I was just posting intermittently there, like I got Cuphead all caught up to date, so I can actually start releasing new episodes of Cuphead. And I've been trying to do the same thing with Fallout 4, but there's way more Fallout 4 episodes to be released before I'm caught up on that. Oh yeah, this is on the alternative platforms. I haven't really been posting anything new on YouTube for a while, except with the exception of these vlogs. So the Christmas schedule may not be entirely regular, just because it's Christmas. I'm busy doing Christmassy things with my family. But I would still like to see about getting videos released. But also just in terms of the time of day when videos get released. So far I've been releasing my videos kind of like late morning, close to lunchtime, around my time. And I've been kind of handling that stuff on my lunch breaks at my job. And really in my industry as a web developer, it's actually quite common that you only get a half-hour lunch break. And so my lunch break is being absolutely consumed by setting up, getting the videos to release, and to have the message, the promotional posts that I'm putting on Gab, Twitter, and Minds, for said videos, across multiple platforms, and getting that all set up. It just nukes my lunch breaks. Like there's no time, so it's like. So that's really not so good. It's actually kind of stressful. So I'll be switching to an entirely new release schedule for videos themselves. They will either be released at late at night or midnightish, kind of like these vlogging videos have been, or it will be released early morning, like before I go to work. Now, if it's at all possible, I would like the social media posts to still happen throughout the day, across various platforms. Just because that's kind of the easiest way to get it promoted and get it out there. It's actually, I find the promotion from the notification from the platforms themselves, it really doesn't nearly hold as much weight as when you promote it on the social media platforms. So I'd like to see if there's a way for me to handle that. Like maybe there's a way maybe I can just have like a text document on my phone that has it all preset, and then on my lunch break I just copy and paste it, and just from my phone, and it's done. I'd like to figure out a more automated way to do that. Actually, what would be really good is and actually it kind of works for the videos too. I'm using a Chrome plugin in Brave, not Chrome itself, called Social Media Mega Poster, and it's just this guy. He's a young kid who's made the sorry, I don't mean to be insulting by saying kid. He's a young guy, I think, like kind of college age, who's made this plugin, and it's a really great plugin. It basically allows you to post onto YouTube and BitTube and D.Tube and like all these various video platforms, like kind of all at once. It's like you put in your description, your tags and everything, and you press post, and it will systematically open each one of your video platforms in a different browser, and it'll upload it as it goes. So it's basically a way of doing it on all the platforms all at once. It's a pretty great system. There is also a social media aspect to it with the Gab, Twitter, Minds, and all the other ones. And I'd really like it. If he could set up like a timed release schedule for some of those things. Like if it was possible to have it like I think you can probably do it through TweetDeck, but for all the other ones like Gab and Minds, it'd be really great if there was a way to do a timed release with those. Oh, that would just please make that happen. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers for the channel update. Streaming schedule will most likely resume. Actually, yes, I'll be streaming tomorrow night. Which that'll be Saturday, the Saturday before Christmas week, if that narrows it down for you. So yeah, that settles it for that aspect. And iTunes just opened, and that's super annoying. Don't need that. So then I had made an unofficial announcement on Twitter and Gab and Minds as well, about becoming an indie game developer. So I'm still not even sure if this is the official announcement for it, but this is just kind of a thing I'd like to do. I was asking around on Gab about for somebody to point me in the right direction if I wanted to make a side-scrolling pixel art platformer game. For those of you who are aware of my merch store and the item that I have there, it's the co-op at its best one. That's kind of the aesthetic that I'm looking for, like that type of pixel art kind of thing. Yeah, and so I'm thinking that this game would have permanent and temporary power-ups, and there'd be multiple levels, sort of cutscenes, not exactly cutscenes, but basically just like kind of at least being able to do like boss intros or dialogue scenes, kind of similar to like Mega Man X or something along to that effect. So I really like to be able to do that kind of stuff, and it'd be a combination of projectile attacks and melee attacks and jump on enemy attacks, like Mario. And so yeah, those are the kinds of things that I'm thinking of, and I have looked into a few things. And believe it or not, I think the most difficult portion of that might be the music composition, because I did find a really good music maker that I found a whole website actually that's just a resource for people who want to become indie game devs, and it's Yeah, I think making the music might be the hardest part. It's like, what do you mean there isn't a very specific function I can just put in and make it happen? It's like, no, it actually there's a little creativity that's, necessary to make that happen. So yeah, very very difficult. The kind of sound aesthetic that I would like to go for is AVGN Adventures and what's the other one? Jump and Shoot Attack, which is on mobile devices. Both of those games are done by Screw Attack Games, and man, those guys know how to do retro games, and they really know how to do retro music, and that's kind of the feel that I want to get for it. It's gonna be extremely difficult to replicate that. I don't know if I would have to outsource to make that happen or not, but anyway. Yeah, and again, it's not, and I don't, this would have to be a side project because first of all, I've never done it before, so I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But the other problem, the other part of that is that, again, where I'm not a professional, this kind of has to be a side project that I can do with free software, very low risk. The only risk is just my free time that I'm dedicating towards it. And I don't know, maybe I'd end up switching up my stream schedule to be like half and half, half is gameplay, half is deving, or every second stream is deving. I'm not sure how I'd end up working that out once I get into it. But and the other thing is, I'm not sure if this is something that I would be doing on a continuous basis, let's say everything works out and I do go ahead with this and I do end up completing a game. I don't know if it's something that I would continue to do because I don't know if I would have other ideas for other games. I think I might just have this one great idea, and who knows, hopefully I'll make millions off of it. Yeah, I was just, it was kind of I was kind of a little bit inspired by Dan Salvato, who made Doki Doki Literature Club, because from what I understand, his day job is he's actually like an IT guy, and Doki Doki Literature Club was just this side project that he did, and I find it really kind of inspiring the way he just had this little passion project and it just exploded, just so insanely, I think, and far more than he expected too. Like he had ideas for like this other game that he was doing, and there was even like teasers, through the Easter eggs, the we're going to become fucking heroes 2018 Easter egg. That's obviously not going to be announced because he had said that it was so successful that it just pushed everything in his schedule backwards, but he thinks it'll be better for it in the long run. So yeah, anyway, that's just my thoughts on that. And I just wanted to end off with something and I'm gonna try to not be too negative about this. This is the final topic that I want to cover in this video, the Patreon purge.